Javal, how are you doing today?
We had to deal with a demon known by the name of Jake Browning.
I don't know how it just happened again.
But
Like, you know, what can you do?
obviously, we'll talk more about the game in depth. But just giving my quick thoughts, I didn't get to watch the full game because I was playing my apartment, but I was listening to it. So as soon as I saw Browning go in, I'm like, "Yep, this is about to happen. We're about to lose to some BS because that's the Jags way." And unfortunately, it was the Jags way. And there's definitely a lot of mistakes and things to clean up. But at the end of the day, I told myself my team expectations where we would be right about 9-8, and through 2 weeks we look as if close to that 9-8 range. I mean, definitely frustrating that they lost that game that they should have won, but even with everything there, I still think there's some positives to look at. So I'm just trying to tell myself, that it's just game week 2 of the season. But I before the season started, I was telling myself like I'm hoping it's like not hoping, but I was expecting it to be similar to 2022, where the Jags start out kind of slow, new coaching staff, and then they pick it up towards the end of the year. And when Trevor threw that first interception in the red zone, I was like, this just reminded me of the Broncos game in London where he threw an interception in the red zone. And then I was just, we're back. We really are back to 2022 all over again, man. So I'm still a little bit upset that Trevor forgot how to not turn the ball over in the red zone again. I guess he just has to relearn that. And that to me is just the thing where it's not like I haven't seen him have caution in the red zone as much. But even in the Steelers game, like unfortunately, like Trevor just has some like hero moments in a season where it comes to the red zone. His brain just reverts. Speaking of brain reverting, can we talk about that? We need
Like,
to
what do
get
you want
that
for
Bortles
dinner?
moment out the way.
I'm sorry.
We need to get that Bortles moment out the way because never go full Bortles, Trev. Never go full Bortles.
No, I mean there were some definite moments where it was like hilarity, but just ignoring, the negative, we lost, yada yada. A lot of positives to still take out of the game, even if, you want to be
Dude,
2-0
that
instead of.
dude touchdown.
Yeah, that was a
I
sick
was
touchdown
I
for
was
sure.
in Walmart watching it on my phone, and then I just made an audible. Like I literally just I had to hold myself because the noise I made in Walmart, I almost yelled. That cut he made on that touchdown was so sick, dude.
I mean, 1-on-1 against the defensive lineman, I mean, Tune's gonna win that battle every time. So, that was a cool touchdown. Had a similar like cool concept for the ETN touchdown as well, where it was like he's lined up out wide, gonna act like he's gonna go back to becoming a running back in the backfield, kind of stops where he goes, screen pass, got the blocking, walks in for a touchdown. That's just a Liam Cohen offense. And then for the defensive side of the ball, three interceptions. I mean, nothing more can really ask for on the defensive side of the ball, despite, letting Jake Browning kind of like
I
do his
still hate
thing.
that pass interference on Travis. That was such a bad. I'm sorry. I know.
Yeah,
I
no, I'm with you there.
I'm not saying that they should have won regardless of that call, but it's just I don't understand why he was being penalized other than I don't get it, man. I really don't.
But
So I guess
that's just the thing though. If you're gonna keep the teams close, you let dumb decisions like that kind of affect the result of the game. The fact that Jaguars couldn't put him away sooner, as well as the drops on offense, especially in the red zone, for both, for both De'Ami Brown on the second and goal, and then the fourth down play by Brian Thomas Jr., which we can talk a little bit more later.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
that doesn't make things any fun for sure.
and we can just kind of start talking about BTJ. I know a lot of people have already talked about it, and I feel definitely one of the things that this even in the preseason or against the Steelers and BTJ, like the safety kind of came down. Like it's clear that Cohen wants his like all of his receivers to be okay with being in the middle of the field. And BTJ, even when he was used more in the slot, it wasn't more like standing still and take the hit. It was kind of more catch and run. He had a few hits, but I definitely think that this offense is he wants the offense to be more versatile and that not just one player is the one over the middle of the field. So I understand. And like to me, because my thing is like I know if Parker, and I'm not even saying like Parker's better than BTJ after week two, but given the kind of receiver that Parker is, where he's a little bit more okay with contact and has stronger hands, like if you throw that ball to Parker or even Tim Patrick, I think those guys are more okay with knowing they're going to get hit over the middle of the field. And then so, granted, I don't like as an NFL player, I understand you want to take care of yourself. So I'm not going to say like he's soft and he's a complete wuss. I understand he's the thing. I think there is just some give and take. And, I do think that one thing with Trevor is kind of shout out to Reef, friend of the pod. Reef's always been saying that like Trevor, even though he can throw an accurate ball, he does not throw with great touch. So whether it's like 10 yards or 20 yards away, he'll just kind of fire that ball in there. So I do think that maybe if Trevor was a bit of a soft, I'm not blaming all the drops on him because as receivers, if the ball hits you in the chest, you should catch that. I do think Trevor could throw a little bit more of a catchable ball, but like at the same time, if it hits you in the chest, you should catch it. So I'm not fully out on BTJ. I mean, I think that's to be the one thing
It's
with
week
the Cohen
two.
offense we haven't really
Guys,
seen
guys,
is we
it's
just haven't seen
week
them
two
throw the ball
down the field.
deep that
Yep.
much or attack it aggressively. And that to me, I'm not saying that's all BTJ can do, but even when he was a role player for the first half of the season, he was still really good at getting deep. And we really haven't seen them throw the ball deep that much. It's been a couple.
Especially especially since Trevor's had time in the pocket. I'm surprised they actually haven't
Yeah,
called a lot of deep shots, slot fades, whatever you want to call it, whatever play call it is to kind of attack the perimeter of the field. I don't know if this is the week that you're going to start because you're going to play a very physical Houston Texans defense, but I am curious to see if we do get to see a couple more shot plays as the season progresses on.
because I feel both between the way they're using BTJ and like Travis Hunter, they're almost it's I don't want to say it's a misuse because I still trust Cohen the way what he's done with the running game,
Hmm.
and I think I know he can craft a good offense. I think it's just a matter of maybe moving guys, not moving them less, but being kind of thinking more like the basis of like the bread and butter. And like even for Travis, I feel his touches are kind of more like forced, quick throws. It's not really the natural progression. So I'd love to see Travis get more of, some run after the catch because I know he's going to be able to have some success on some screens eventually, just off of he's a really good player with the ball in his hands and the screen game's been working well. But just trying to see more of a natural flow on offense for those two guys. I think that's really the missing piece because Diami's looked good so far through 2 weeks, minus that drop. Parker looked great. And, the running backs are starting to really take a role in the offense, including the passing game as well. Even Strange has been a pretty solid contributor. So once Cohen truly unlocks BTJ and Travis, then I feel this passing game will be able to really take over. But I'm still not saying the season's over. This team is so, even though yes, Trevor's brain did malfunction a couple times. I still can't get over that play, man. Never go full board like Trevor. I love you, but never go full Bortles again.
I think that's just the bare
Like
minimum for sure.
like
But
red zone
also,
turnovers and throwing across line of scrimmage. That was
I
that was a full Bortles game.
yeah. I know Trevor wants to be a pocket passer as well, but there's also some instances where I feel like it should be okay or even encourage that Trevor say, "Hey, you see some open space, just go ahead and take it." He only did it once against Carolina where he had like a first down run on like was it second or third and medium or
Yeah,
short?
and he picked up the first down.
Yeah, so like
Uh,
I feel like he should be encouraged to say, "Hey, Trevor, if you're getting time in the pocket, you don't see anything down the field after like 3, 4 seconds, go ahead and try to find the open hole and get 5, 6, 7 yards, especially if you're passing on first and second down.
yeah,
Like
I
that,
hope that one of the things we get to see more of with Trevor, which I feel we haven't been utilized too much, is just him in the red zone where I remember he had a rush touchdown versus the Eagles last year.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying we should use him like Jalen Hurts to tush push him all the time, but I think you could, whether you're designing some runs for him or just the play breaks down, like he's mobile enough to pick
He's a
up.
good athlete. That's the thing. He's not a bad runner of the
He's
football
not Joe
whatsoever.
Flacco
Yeah, exactly.
or Aaron, or 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Like, so I think there's definitely some things to work on with the offense, and I, I hope we'll see how Cohen adjusts this week, especially facing a very physical Texans defense, where they're going to have two good pass rushers. They have Stingley's going to take. I think that's going to be really interesting this week. Is seeing Stingley versus BTJ, and then do they try to use them the same way? Do they just try to use BTJ more vertical? Because I mean, I remember even last Texans game before Trevor got concussed by who should not be named. Stingley was beat by BTJ on a deep throw, but Trevor kind of underthrew it, which he did have that shoulder injury, so maybe that played a role in it. But
Hmm.
I do think if given the ways of this defense, maybe I'm not saying that Cohen's going to do this to spite on BTJ, but maybe he has another quiet game so that he can focus on other players. And then if they leave BTJ open one-on-one, they just get him a deep shot. Because that's really the thing. Like he only needs one or two catches to completely flip the game open with his kind of speed combo. So as between him and Travis, hopefully we'll just get to see more of them continue
I
to take
also
that next
would like to see
offense.
Travis Hunter on the outside more than the slot, and I wonder if that's going to be by design later on the season. But I do want to see Travis Hunter on the outside a bit more. I feel like he'll be more effective because that's what he played in college. That's what he's been used to. So it's been a little bit weird seeing him in the slot. I think he can be more useful if he can, be on the outside eventually. But
Yeah, I mean, I
that's a
feel
wait and
they're
see.
just trying to get the ball in his hands really quickly, which I don't think is a terrible game plan. But th granted, if Trevor hits that shot to Travis and he has that touchdown, none of this is really a talking point.
Yeah.
So I just think, with Cohen, granted, I'm not the offensive coordinator. I'm not going to say I know more than he does. I'm just hoping to see a little bit more of the explosive when the opportunities arise, which I know will happen. But even last year with Baker, a lot of his throws are just quick, short time to throw, and he'll kind of let his guys take care of the rest. There were shots when the shots were schemed up, but it
Hmm.
wasn't a focal point of the offense. But Trevor is still a really good deep ball thrower, so I would want to see advantage of that because I think that's just one of his better strengths is throwing the ball down the field, especially now that he has BTJ. So we'll see. But how are you feeling for Sunday's game, my friend?
I feel like we smashed him in the motherfucking mouth. It's we're due. I hate saying the word due because I said that last week, but we haven't been to Houston Texans since 2017. They're coming off of a heartbreaking short week loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. It's time to run through their motherfucking throats. It's time to send them to 0-3. And I think that's just the message throughout. They don't need any of us telling us that. I think they are smart enough to know that this is an important game, first division game of the season. Wearing the Prowlers, I mean, what more positive faith and positive energy can you bring? Despite all the mistakes, the Jaguars are still averaging 26 and a half points a game. After all the mistakes, especially
And all
in
the penalties and everything still. The offense has been mostly as advertised. So
yeah, and then the defense. They just got to get pressure on CJ Stroud, don't let Nico Collins make too many big plays. And then, yeah, I mean, the game plan seems pretty simple.
you're
I
you're
mean,
forgetting you're forgetting one player, my friend.
who am I
There's a
forgetting?
revenge game on the way.
Oh, yeah. It's Trevor Lawrence, Eric Murray. I mean, whoever wants the revenge better, how about go both of them go for it. This is, in my opinion, the game where Trevor Lawrence finally gets everything together and kind of starts waking up the national narrative around him because it's been nauseating being on social media throughout the week
Yeah,
talking
this
about
week has
Trevor
been this week
Lawrence
has
and the
been so
offense.
bad. And granted, like he does definitely deserve some of it, but I, I don't think it's like fully on him. I was at the gym yesterday. I had NFL Live on, and I was just seeing like the stats. I take my glasses off so I couldn't see. I wish I had your optimism, my friend. But then again, you know what I'm on this pod for. You're the optimist. I'm the pessimist. To me, it's really just a matter of until they beat the Texans, I can't pick them in good faith to beat the Texans. Similar to how we always kick the Colts' ass in Jacksonville, the
Uh-oh.
Texans have just held bad. They've had our number. So until I see a win, granted, I do think the Prowlers is a step in the right direction. So if they weren't wearing Prowlers and they're wearing like if they're wearing the white and black uniforms, I'd say they're getting their asses beat. If they're wearing the regular home teal, I'd say it's probably a loss still. Prowlers, I'm like, we have a chance, but even if we won in Cincinnati, we were 2-0, Texans are 0-2, I'd still be wary of the Texans just because this is just how it'd be such a Jags thing to lose. But I think the fact that they also had a loss too, we're
Tampa.
definitely going to play
They that's the
pissed off.
crazy part about the Texans schedule too. They're facing the same kind of offense 3 weeks in a row too. So that's either, do you see that more as an advantage towards Houston or an advantage towards Jacksonville? Because they look at similar
Uh,
concepts and be like, hey, we can take
yeah, I
that because
mean,
that worked, and
they
then we
faced
can't.
the Rams, who had a McVay offense, and then I guess the Bucks. I mean, it's still kind of to be determined with their new offensive coordinator. Like, which I mean, obviously, he was in the tree. He was in the building last year, so he saw what Liam Cohen did. I don't know if he's taking similar offense or not to yet, but and then now facing this team. So I think the Texans defense is gonna feel a little bit of a deja vu. And then yeah, I think it's
But
just gonna be really interesting.
despite how bad we looked last season, we still only lost both of those games against Houston by one possession. If we're as good as we
That to me
think
is
we
the
are,
frustrating part. Is I feel this game's going to be close no matter like whether we win or lose, it's going to be a close game. Like there's I think both teams are obviously aren't playing. I mean, Houston's 0-2, and they've lost to two good teams. It's not like they've been blown out by scrubs, but even still, offense hasn't really been clicking. They've scored the least amount of points in the league so far. So it's just, truly a matter of, okay, can the pass rush continue to step up? Which I felt was like pass rush was solid, but it hasn't.
they're not winning on four-man pressures, which is the only issue I would have to say right now as the season starts. So I am very curious to see if they just continually calling up blitzes on crucial situations just to get into a very susceptible offensive line in CJ Stroud's face, or they're gonna try to finally see, hey, can we get four men in there, play good coverage, and finally get to the quarterback because they think the Texans O-line can block against their best edge rushers. Trayvon Walker definitely played his best game. Josh Hines Allen still getting pressures, and and still you know, just playing good football. And Trayvon Walker is probably playing the best football in his career. So hopefully that keeps stepping up and up as the season rolls on as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Speaking of other revenge, I don't think it's playing, but can you imagine if the Houston's have an O-line injury and Cam Robinson comes in as left tackle?
I mean, he would be beat up by Josh Hines Allen like he did against when we played Minnesota last year.
I feel that this game truly has potential between the Eric Murray Christian Kirk double revenge game. We truly have the potential for a hilarious. And then if Cam Robinson gets in, because he got benched, I just looked, he got benched last week. So, which
Christian Kirk revenge game. I will be wearing his jersey on Sunday, by the way. I think I already made that decision.
I'm just debating now. There's either two outcomes. Either he's going completely off or he's getting hit by Eric Murray slightly and he's tears his shoulder and he's out for the whole season. I don't know which is happening.
I think, it's just also the metrics too. The Jaguars have looked very good on offense, and then the Texans have looked very susceptible. Both defenses are really playing well, but if you watch any of that Monday night game, it was the Texans defense and special teams that were keeping them all game, and the Bucks defense had the Texans number all day after that opening drive.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just more so like scared of like to me that's the biggest thing is like just Trevor. Can we just not have interception this game? Like not have it. That's really the biggest thing. Like if they don't turn the ball over, I think they have
I
a
think
shot.
this is the game where it's like, hey, we're having success, we're pounding the rock. Let's keep doing that ad nauseum until they know that they can stop it. I feel like that should be the game plan. Control time of possession. Let's get CJ Stroud off the field. I mean, it's just simple football. It's not, reinventing the wheel. Whatever concepts you put on the field, that can be, rocket science. But I feel like, simple stuff that worked for the first 2 weeks of the season. Win time of possession, get more rushing yards, win the turnover differential, and then you win the football game. We did all of that, and we still didn't win the football game last week. So I can see why you're a little nervous. But usually, if you do all those 3 things, you're gonna be in pretty good shape in the NFL.
It was just, yeah, more so because I remember even last podcast, like, okay, like if the Jags have the ball with the lead, they're definitely going to run the ball out. And then Cohen came to a 4th and 2, and I'm not gonna say I'm fully disappointed, but that was the drive. I'm like, okay, like that's the scenario where you want to have a running coach and hopefully a little bit more of an aggressive minded coach. So, we'll see, but I'm not raving the red flag and saying the season's over and the Jags are terrible and Trevor Lawrence is a complete bust. But I I don't know. To me, I'm just like I want to have faith because the uniforms, and I feel they play better when they're slighted and they play better when they're down. It's just the Texans have just had our numbers so often that it's hard for me to have realistic confidence. Literally, we could be 10-0 and face the Texans who are 0-10, and now it's still saying, my God. It's just AFC South BS because divisional games, especially in this terrible division, are always stupid. So
That it is. That it really is.
I'm just oh. See, right now live, I'm gonna take the over on Trevor interceptions, and I hope this bet doesn't go through. I really don't.
I know you don't, but the fact we're doing it live is crazy.
Only because Rory, another friend of the, oh no, it was another friend. He was like, "Yeah, I just always bet Trevor Lawrence interceptions every week," and then I bet one as a joke, and it went through. So I was like, "Fuck." I hate that. I hate that my bet went through.
Oh man. I'm excited though. I really am. I just hope that, like I said, no dumb mistakes on offense, no backbreaking penalties on defense, just simple good football. I think the Jaguars got it on Sunday. That's just how I feel.
I wish I could be as confident as you, my friend. I really wish I could, but I'm just used to this team disappointing. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna believe what I've seen so far, and I feel like this is the week we can get it right. Hopefully. Like I said, I get it. I totally do.
I hope so.
You got anything else to add before? I don't think there's anything else to add besides, the Trevor Lawrence revenge factor, the bullshit that we have, the AFC South, importance. I think this matchup kind of writes itself if you are a Jacksonville Jaguars fan.
I mean, uh, really, I'm just wanting to see more of how the offense develops, how it progresses, and just hopefully, it doesn't have to be right now because it is a pretty tough matchup. But just hopefully, we get to see more of the BJ and Travis tandem. We get to see more like natural looks because I don't want to say the ball feels forced when they're targeting those players, but it feels like there's a difference. Like all of Trevor's interceptions have come when he's targeted BTJ or Travis Hunter. So I'm just wondering, like, will it feel more natural this time? But no matter what, all I hope for is a win. We could win 3-0. We could win 23-20. We could win 55-54, and I would not care how the game looks as long as we win.
I will be there on Sunday. I plan to lose my voice, so hopefully that will be worth it at the end of the day. All right. I think that just concludes a very quick pod. Like I said, kind of writes itself. So,
I'm
but
still
like,
nervous.
I know. I mean, it's the first AC South game of the season. There's always going to be naturally a little bit of nerves going into it. Like, subscribe, Javal. Where can you get the best athleisure gear in the market?
Y'allgymmyet.com. We got some new shirts that just came out. I'll upload the website pretty soon. So yeah, if you ever have any needs, you can let me know specifically. I can do a custom order as well. So if you ever have any ideas, let me know at y'allgymmyet.com. And yeah, I'm looking into making a Jags colorway soon. So stay tuned, y'all.
All right, I think that kind of wraps it up. Javal, have a good rest of your week. I can't wait to talk to you on Sunday. I know you're not going to be out there, but I'm definitely going to be texting you throughout. So hopefully we leave the stadium with a dub.
Take care, my friend.
You too, Javal.